Salutes. I know it's been a while, but I'm back on the grind after a little sabbatical. Yep. Hey, I hope you guys looked at the thumbnail closely. That's me holding my harvest of grapes for this year. One part of it. That's why that wasn't all of it. But yeah. So it's been a while since I've been on this thing, but yeah. So fun fact for you Bible readers and Bible believers: those grapes right there in my hands was actually described as being the fruit of good and evil, or the fruit of the knowledge of good and evil. So just food for thought, in case you wanted to know. That's why I'm holding those grapes, showing them like that. But today's topic is lies, 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 and low lies. Man, because it's just a trip how people are putting out these lies and ain't nobody calling. So the whole reason behind the health food industry is money. That's it. And the same thing about what our people are telling us today. It's all about money. Telling us don't eat meat, don't consume certain products and shit like that. Let me tell you, everything that's made from fast food and junk food is all plant-based. All of it. They're not going to tell you that, though. They're not going to tell you that potato chips, plant-based, candy, plant-based, all sodas, plant-based. All of it's plant-based. And all of these things that they're talking about is bad for you that's in it. All of it comes from plants. None of it comes from any mysterious scientific fucking laboratory type stuff that they found in outer space and they bringing it back and they feeding it to us. Everything is plant-based. Everything. Even the meat that you eat is plant-based. They don't feed these animals plastic. Even plastic is plant-based. So don't get too invested into this shit that these people are talking about because they're all charlatans telling you drink smoothies and all of this bullshit and don't eat meat. Anything done in excess is bad for you. Anything that you overdo is bad for you. It takes moderation, discipline, and discernment. That's what it takes. And people don't utilize that on an everyday basis. But look, anybody can fall short of the glory. Anybody can fall short of what their potential, their full potential is. And we mostly do. But when it hurts me, well, it don't really hurt me. It irks me, to tell you the truth. When our people sit up here and tell us that, hey, man, don't eat that because it's bad for you. And they doing just as worse. You got all these guys that's on the internet right now on YouTube. A lot of them, bunch of liars, up here smoking weed from the fucking the damn dispensaries. They don't know what these people are putting in it. Then they go and they buy these fucking Blackwoods that's sprayed with all kind of so-called chemicals, and they smoking that shit. See, so don't listen to what these people are talking about. I be hearing them all the time talking about this shit like they are experts. And you look at them, half of them are starving themselves, and they call it fasting. Oh, it's fast. Well, guess what? It's still starving. And what happens when you go on a diet? And see, most people don't understand this shit. When you go on a diet, guess what you turn your body into? A storage factory. Because now the body thinks it's starving. Now it has to put on calories. So guess what you're doing when you're fasting all the time? You're turning your body into a storage factory. Then they tell you that, fasting is good for you. Really? You know where this shit came from? This shit came from the pharmaceutical companies. They want you to starve yourself. So when you come back to eating their products, you eat even more of them. See, they don't want us to understand that anything you do in moderation is healthy. Anything you do in moderation is healthy. The body has its own way of dealing with toxins. There's nothing you can do to stop toxins from getting into your body because guess what? They all come from plants. It all comes from plants. But what you can do is you can destroy the bacteria that they're leaving in the plants and calling it healthy for you. Who in the man? When I was a kid, we wouldn't have never heard. We wouldn't have never listened to nobody talking about healthy and good bacteria. Bro, bacteria is not healthy or good for you. Bacteria is like an animal, a wild animal that you're putting inside of your body and expecting it to do something controlled for you. Do you know that salmonella is in most of your freaking probiotics? Salmonella, right? Strep, that bacteria right there is in most of your probiotics and your prebiotics. Nobody tells us this shit because if they do, then we'll realize that the whole fucking thing is full of shit. It's full of shit. It's full of shit, man. Most of these guys is like, for instance, OG Philly talking about smoothies and shit like that. The only reason why this nigga is drinking smoothies is because he ain't got no teeth. How you healthy and you ain't got no teeth? Something that your body should naturally have. I'm telling you, man, we got to watch these people and test their spirit, test their words coming out their mouth and freaking challenge it because guess what? They're lying without impunity. They just lie. They don't even give a fuck who's listening. And then they sit on their high horse and allow other people to get up there and contribute to the lie. God damn. Like saying amen and shit in the background. But look, hey man, do not allow yourself to fall victim to this bullshit that they're pushing on us with these health foods. Let me tell you something. All foods are healthy for you. Sugar is not bad for you. They tell us that sugar and salt was bad for you. Your body needs these essential minerals. They come from plants. Salt is a mineral that inhabits the entire world, the entire planet we live on. Salt does. And you don't think that the animals that live on this motherfucker haven't adapted to it and benefit from it? Hell yeah. Same thing with sugar. Sugar comes from plants. And all plants create sugars. All plants create sugars. And all they do is refine the sugars, make them so they can be stored and you utilize them at a later date. That's it. But if you use too much sugar, too much salt, yeah, it's not good for you. But at the same time, man, you can't just blackball all of this shit because this is what we use. People that go and eat at McDonald's. McDonald's is not bad for you unless you waste it. Like eating it every fucking day. You got to eat in moderation. All right. Anything that's done in excess is bad for you. Drinking too much water is bad for you. Drinking too little water is bad for you. Water is an oxidizer. People don't even understand that it becomes caustic after a period of time. Too much water in the system becomes caustic. Figure that shit out. See, they're not going to tell you that. Everybody's on this alkaline diet fucking shit. Everybody's talking about alkalinity is what your body needs. Too much alkalinity causes caustic, makes you caustic. It'll burn you up on the inside just like acid. See, they don't tell us shit like that. The way they make soap, lie. It's the same way we make it in our bodies. Too much of this shit becomes caustic. It becomes poisonous. See, and that's why they made beverages like sodas, teas, coffees. You know what I'm saying? They made these beverages so you can put back the minerals that the water is leaching out of your system. See? They don't want you to understand, look, when your body is urinating out dark colors, that's minerals and nutrients that have been in your body for too long that need to be flushed out. They're not going to tell you shit like that. It ain't because your body is suffering, it's dehydrated. No, man. If you can starve yourself, then you can dehydrate yourself. What about a fast? It's not different from dehydration. And this is the shit that I don't be understanding why we keep falling victim to. If you fast, you're starving. If you dehydrate, you're purging. See? But they tell us all this bullshit about, hey, yeah, you need to do this, you need to do that. And ain't none of them looking like they do any of that shit. What they should be telling people, if you want to be healthy, get out and move. You got to mix up this shit and push it out of your body. You can't just fucking sit back and drink smoothies all fucking day and expect to be healthy. Plus, all that raw fruit and all that shit has bacteria in it. It's not cooked. But they'll say that's beneficial bacteria. Ain't nothing beneficial about bacteria at all, man. Ain't shit beneficial about bacteria. If you could just imagine putting a bunch of ants inside of your body, meat-eating ants, and you put them inside your body to kill and help you digest food inside your gut. Now, if you start starving yourself, what do you think those little meat-eating ants gonna do inside your body? They're gonna start eating your ass because you can't starve a bacteria and not expect it to become an invasive species inside of the environment that it's living in. That's stupid, man. How these guys think. Ain't shit wrong with fast food. Ain't shit wrong with none of this stuff. These guys are just making this shit up because it sounds good. All of them want to be preachers and fucking rappers and all this shit. And they know that there's a lot of naive people out there that will listen to anything because they're unhappy. They're unhappy with the situation that they're living in. Well, guess what? The situation ain't gonna change until you change it. I don't care who's listening to this shit. The situation ain't gonna change until you change it. And just because you change what you eat, don't mean that everything's gonna be all right. You gotta have some control over your life. You gotta have moderation. You gotta have discernment. A lot of people don't have that. Just because you change your diet from meat and you eat nothing but vegetables, but you pigging out on vegetables, you think you're gonna get smaller and stronger and leaner? You gotta get out there and you gotta work this body, man. This body is a machine. And you ain't gotta do too much work to it in order to get the results that you need. And the results that we need is health. That's what we need, health. But we listening to all of these people, don't eat sugar, don't eat this, don't eat that. And like, look at them. Look at them. They're not going to show you their high blood pressure fucking measurements. They're not going to show you their blood sugar measurements. They're going to tell you, oh, I'm healthy because I do this, I do that. That's a guilt trip, man. That's a guilt trip. They put us through guilt trips all the time. I don't see why we listen to shit like this when we don't see no results. If you listening to somebody and the shit that you doing is not getting you any results, why you keep listening to them? Why? And then they put this shit under the disguise of helping my people, helping our people. Man, these guys are frauds, man. Now they trying to come out and talk about some they farmers and shit. Y'all ain't fucking farmers. You ain't even good gardeners. I ain't see one thing these guys has done, man, that prove that they who they say they are. None of them. I can go down the whole line. Enemies Public, Bro Sanchez, fucking Key Norfolk, all these fucking clowns, OG Philly, they all just fucking scoundrels, man. They all scoundrels. And see, the reason why they can do what they do is because we allow it. We allow them to do this shit. We allow them to tell us shit and to pander to us on a daily basis. It's crazy, bro. When I look at this stuff and I be seeing the people steady supporting this shit, I be thinking to myself, man, we're lost as a whole. That's why it doesn't pay to be in a group. It don't pay to be supportive of any group, man. That's why none of this shit ever survived. That's why none of these tribes ever survived. Because these tribes ain't nothing but herds of animals that's led by one shepherd that can push us and move us in directions that they want us to be moved in. We should have gotten enough for this shit a long time ago, man. When we saw that the civil rights movement was bullshit, we saw that all the shit that they was teaching us back in the day. Check this shit out. On the civil rights movement, the reason why the civil rights movement was so big is because of slavery. If we think about slavery, how in the hell did they control so many people? And then on top of that, Make these people forget their native tongues and their real names. See, all of that went through programming with that root shit. When they showed us the scene with Toby getting his ass beat, with Kuta getting his ass beat, till he starts reciting his name as Toby. That was a straight up psyop when they played that shit for us. And guess what? Roots was all fake. All that shit was made up. Did you know that they had cameras back in that day? Did you know that if they had cameras, that means they had projectors? If they had projectors in that day, why aren't there any movies of slavery occurring back in that day? What, you don't think the slave masters would have wanted to publicize their effectiveness on controlling a large number of people? Being able to produce products under the manual labor of a bunch of people? Man, I'm telling you, slavery was a lie which brought across the civil rights movement. We followed these people as if it was the fact. None of those people in the civil rights movements were slaves, and they were right. And look, they were closer to slavery than we are today. None of them were slaves. The people that were slaves weren't even slaves themselves. They were employees. How the fuck you gonna have somebody living on your land, eating your food, spending your money to produce something, and they consider slaves? These people were employees, contracted employees. That was the only way they did business back then. That's the only way we do business today. I don't know anybody that has a legitimate job that hasn't filled out a contract. Everybody that's ever had a job in the United States have filled out a contract to have that job. It's called an application. Oh, you thought the application was just, a piece of paper that you gave them so you can get recognized for who you are? No, that's a contract. That little part at the bottom where they say, you sign this, acknowledging that everything you say is truthful. Okay. That's what this shit is about. That's what this shit is about. It's about contracts, and it's about people doing what they're supposed to do in order to survive. None of that shit is going to change anything. None of it's going to change anything. It's not going to make anything more worse or any better. It's just the way we do business. It's how we hold each other accountable. But we got people in society that turn that into a negative, call it slavery. See, that word right there has a totally different meaning than it did at the time that they first started using it. See, and this is the whole reason why we go through the shit we go through, because we're so naive. We don't test the spirit. See, I'm not talking about test their inner spirit like they got some kind of being inside them. The spirit is the words that's coming out their mouth. Like the words that I'm saying right now. Test the spirit, man. Don't fucking let people say shit and you don't say nothing about it, or you don't check on what they talking about. You can check on everything I be saying, because you can't hide none of this shit no more. We're in the age right now where everything can be verified on an individual basis. Look at the shit that they talking about with meat, with vegetables and shit like that. They don't even want you to eat the vegetables that are in the grocery store. They're telling you, as the consumer, to grow your own. You know the whole reason why we have grocery stores? It's because it was feeding yourself made easy. That's what it's for. Those vegetables in the grocery store are the same as the vegetables you grow out in your backyard. Ain't shit different about them. You're using the same fertilizers, the same bacteria that they're using. They got us thinking that, they GMO in it. When you freaking grow shit in a greenhouse, or you grow shit, you start seeds indoors, you germinate seeds in a little plastic bag, like they teach us in school, that's GMO. All of that's GMO. Genetically modifying your plants, taking them out of a natural environment and putting them in one that you fabricated for the plants. With the grow lights, you watering the plants instead of nature watering them. That's GMO, man. Stop letting these people trick us into thinking the shit that we think because they want to make themselves look good and make a little bit of money off of us. If somebody's trying to sell something at the same time when they're trying to give you health advice, guess what? Their entire pitch is for salesmanship. It's not for helping you out. Their entire pitch, and I listen to these dudes all the time. They're trying to sell something every day. They don't have their own income, so they need your income in order to support them. Stop supporting these YouTubers and watch what they do. See? They're going to say, oh, nobody support me no more. Well, get your ass out and support yourself. This shit should not be an income. These platforms should be freedom of speech. Any income you should be getting from them should be from the platform itself, not from the people. But the reason why they can do that is because we allow them to do it. We allow them to do that shit to us. And see, they can get up here and they can say whatever they want to say, and then can't nobody hold them accountable. It used to be against the law back in the day to tell lies to the public. Well, now it's not like that anymore because they've changed the laws, and this is their way of letting people that are con men and thieves and shit get out here and tell the whole public all these lies. Talking about meat's bad for you, but don't say shit about the way that these vegetables, if they're not cooked, they're just as worse. All your vegetables that are sold in bulk, ain't nobody growing their vegetables in bulk, and if they are growing them in bulk, they're running into the same issues that the grocery stores are running into. They're all infested with bacteria. All of it. Even your fruits and vegetables. You think I can take 1,000 fucking tomatoes and stack them up on top of each other inside of a big ass bin, and if one tomato's rotten, it's not going to affect all the rest of them? Man, that's so fucking crazy to think like that. It's so crazy to think like that. You think if I harvest a bunch of apples and there's worms in 2 or 3 of the apples, that the worms aren't going to spread throughout the rest of the apples? But no, we got people that go straight to the grocery store, grab an apple off the shelf, and start eating it like it's healthy for you. They don't even realize the reason why we start cooking food and vegetables is to get rid of bacteria. That's the only reason why we do that shit. It's just weird how we've allowed ourselves to become so manipulated. So manipulated by people that don't even have teeth in their mouth. How the fuck are you a health food person and you don't even have teeth in your mouth? How the hell you got false teeth at the age of 30, 40 years old? That's something for like 80-year-old people. Even 60 is too young not to have teeth in your mouth. And you know what? This should be a lesson to you. The reason why they ain't got teeth in their mouth is because they don't take care of themselves. How hard is it to wake up every day and brush your teeth at least one time? Nigga, if you ain't got teeth in your mouth, it ain't got shit to do with people getting fucking injured or none of that shit. It's because you don't take care of your teeth. And I'll be looking at these guys. All these gurus that are in these freaking sectors that's trying to tell you how to live, they all got missing teeth. It's crazy. Why you even put yourself on the camera if you know your mouth fucked up like that? Just spare the people all that bullshit. You're supposed to have 32 teeth in your mouth, and you ain't got nothing but a handful, 4 or 5. God damn, you're talking about from 32 to 5 teeth. How? But you'll sit up there and tell people, meat's bad for you. This is bad for you. Man, get the fuck out of here, man. Get the hell out of here. You wouldn't even have teeth if they didn't make false teeth. And drinking smoothies every day, man. Imagine drinking a smoothie for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. God damn, your insides ought to be like milk. You got a milky gut. Yeah, and starving yourself 3 or 4 times out of the week. That shit is not good for you. And look, once you start this fasting thing, you can't stop it. You cannot stop fasting. You know why? Because guess what? If you stop fasting and go back to a normal way of eating, then your body's going to gain weight. You know why? Because you shifted your body from a calorie burner into a calorie reserver or a calorie saver. That's just common sense. When I was playing sports in high school and they was like, you want to bulk up, go on a diet. And I used to be like, go on a diet? Until I actually went through that shit. You gain more weight when you're on a diet than if you're just eating on a regular basis. When you're eating on a regular basis, you're causing your metabolism to speed up. When you're on a diet, you're causing your metabolism to slow down. That's just common fucking sense shit. That's the common sense shit. And people are pushing this shit. Oh, you gotta fast. Intermittent fasting. They're creating the obesity trend. They're creating the diet, the yoga, what they call it, the yo-yo diet. They're creating that shit. And we're listening to them and following it like, oh, yeah, they know what they're talking about. No, man. Do not fast. Fasting is not healthy for you. Fasting is starvation. I'm telling you right now. You want to know what causes diabetes? Bacteria, not fucking sugar, not meat, bacteria. Any ailment that's involved with the body is all bacteria based. All of it. It's all bacteria based. And I can see why raising your alkalinity will help cure that. Because guess what? Too much alkalinity causes you to become what? Caustic. And caustic kills bacteria. But it also does what to the body? Destroys it from the inside out. Too much caustic material in the body causes the body to become, guess what? Acidic. Because that's what caustic is. Caustic is just like acidic. It will burn your ass. And if you don't believe me, go and get some lye. Yes, lye. Not the lye that they're telling you. No, lye that they use to make soap. And put that shit on your skin. I'm not telling you to harm yourself, but if you ain't smart enough to understand that too much alkalinity makes you caustic and will destroy you from the inside out, then you don't need to have good looking skin. Because you're stupid. And what did these guys push? See, what did they push? Alkaline diets. You look, you go on an alkaline diet for a year, you just destroyed your fucking body for the rest of your life down there. That's just not good for you. And then on top of that, you starving yourself and you drinking nothing but water, which is an oxidizer, which is another caustic. See, when they're telling people that, hey, you got to get rid of carcinogens, right? They're not telling you that the carcinogens that they're telling you need to get rid of are caused by natural materials. They're not telling you to get rid of bacteria, because bacteria is in all vegetables, all fruits. You got to cook that shit. You got to cook all vegetables and all fruits to make them healthy for you to eat. And that's not a fucking lie. And anybody that's telling you that, they're just infested with this shit. See? A skinny person is not a healthy person. Just like a fat person is not a healthy person. It's called moderation. If you're skinny, back in the day, you used to be starving. See? And if you're fat, back in the day, you used to be considered healthy or wealthy because you had enough money to feed that appetite that you had. But it was too much on both scales. See, we didn't pay attention to certain things when we were growing up. The old folks, they didn't die because they were eating unhealthy. They died because they were utilizing unhealthy practices. Like as soon as they started going to the doctors, and this is just for fair use. As soon as our people start going to the doctors on a regular basis, they started coming down with all these illnesses. Like, ain't it a fucking mystery? Most people walk around all their life, right? And don't even realize that they don't need nobody telling them how they feel. If you feel bad, you know that you feel bad. You don't need somebody to tell you, hey, you're sick. See? Look, rewind in your mind from back when you were a kid. If you're 40 and above right now, Remember when you were a kid and when your relatives started going to the doctors more often, how sick they got. See? But if you say this to people, oh, that's medical misinformation. No, it's not. That's the truth. That's the damn truth, man. I'm not giving no medical advice. That's the truth. I'm just telling you, none of my relatives were sick until they started going to the doctor and get diagnosed. And we act like there's no such thing as medical malpractice. Huh? We act like there's no such thing as wrong diagnosis. Huh? We gonna act like there's no such thing as motherfuckers getting surgery on body parts that shouldn't even be operated on. See? These people that we giving all this clout to, they are just like us. They're humans. They're fallible. They're evil. They're sadistic. Some of them are good. But in this world, as we live, most of them are bad. Don't put your trust in anybody. Don't put your health in anybody's hand. You can't do nothing today without having your doctor's advice. Why? So they take it out of you and take your authority out of you and give it to somebody else so they can control your life. And that's YouTube. That's not a fucking medical misinformation. That's the truth. If you feel sick and you working, you got to get a doctor's note in order to come back to work. What the hell is that? So you can't tell if you're sick or not? That's the whole reason why you stay home. Or you need somebody that's outside of your understanding to tell them that you don't know when your body is sick, but I can tell that that person's body is sick. Man, that's stupid. We fall for that shit every time, man. You want to be healthy? Practice moderation. You can eat whatever the fuck you want to eat. It doesn't matter. Practice moderation and cook every fucking thing. Cook everything. Cook everything. It's a shame we got away from cooking. We got more people that want to have shit fast and easy rather than actually cooking and taking the time and putting their love into their food. Same thing with fruits and vegetables. Fruits and vegetables were cooked in order to make them healthy so we can eat this and get the same benefit from them. With the fruits, we make pies. See what I'm saying? We make puddings. We made all kind of shit with the fruits. Why we don't do that no more? Because we're fucking lazy. We'd rather eat the shit raw and take our chances with the bacteria that's in the shit. Why you think you're sick? Bacteria causes every known disease known in this world, in this existence. Bacteria does. And it's just another animal, just like the one you have in your house. You call them a pet. Bacteria is just another animal. So we're being taken out by microscopic animals because we're too lazy to cook our food. To cook it. Yes, that apple you got in your refrigerator, you're just going to go in there and grab and wipe off the outside. You're going to bite into. Man, you just ate thousands of bacteria in that shit. Oh, but if it doesn't hurt you or if it doesn't kill you, it's good for you. Huh? They're not telling you about the lasting effects. There's more bacteria in fruits and vegetables in today's age than there ever was throughout history. You know why? Because we farm indoors now. All of our farming is done indoors. There's hardly any vegetables and fruits and shit that's grown outside. And if it is, it's being inundated with shit. Literally shit. They got worm teas. They got compost teas. They got manure teas. They putting bacteria on everything because they say bacteria helps the plants to grow. Yes, but they're not telling you that the plants are also being affected by this shit. See? This is the stuff that we're not paying attention to, that we're listening to these dumbass health food gurus about, that we should be paying attention to ourselves. It only takes a little bit of time to cook up a fruit, to cook up some vegetables, to steam it, to heat it up to a point where bacteria can't exist inside of it. That's the only way it's healthy. If you're juicing your vegetables, if you're juicing your fruits, don't you know all the fruit juices and vegetable juices that are out there in the market right now are all pasteurized? Why are they all pasteurized? Because if they didn't pasteurize them, they wouldn't last long on the shelves. Pasteurization is just warming. It's just boiling the liquid. That's all pasteurization is. Why are they boiling liquid, you say? Oh, because it has bacteria in it. And if they kill the bacteria, guess what? It's healthy to eat now. It's healthy to consume. All juices, fruit juices, are pasteurized. If they didn't, you would have mold and moss and bacteria shit floating around into it that's visible to the eye. Unappealing, right? Unappealing. Well, that's what you're doing when you're eating it raw. You're putting that shit into your body. See? You're putting that shit into your body. When you're peeling the orange and you're eating the orange raw like that, guess what? It's all filled with bacteria. All of it. It might not hurt you today, tomorrow, next week, but live long enough, you're going to develop a cancer from it. Because what does bacteria do? It destroys healthy cells. It eats it. It's the same thing that cancer does. Man, cook your food, everything. It don't matter if you eat pork. It don't matter if you eat bugs. Cook them all, bro. Cook everything. See, these are the teachings that we used to have. This is what we used to have in our teachings. Anything raw is considered bad for you. Anything. Anything raw is considered bad for you. If it wasn't considered bad for you, why do these people have to put gloves on when they're handling the fertilizer? When they're handling the cow shit, why they put gloves on? Bacteria. Now, if the plants are eating and sucking up this cow shit, guess what's in the plant? Cow shit. But we think just because the plants is natural. It's come from the earth. Man, everything that's good and bad for you comes from the earth. Everything. Everything, man. There's nothing that doesn't come from the earth that can't hurt you. Nothing, man. Everything that comes out of the ground has the potential to harm you. And the reason why they do shit like they tell us that, oh, it's okay, is because it's easier. It's easy to go in there and get full off a bunch of bananas or vegetables and shit like that without cooking. It's easy to do that. But they're not going to tell you that the gut has to break that shit down. So they tell you, oh, you know what? Hey, eat this bacteria. This bacteria is going to help you eat and process this shit so your body can get the nutrients. No, it's not, man. That bacteria is going to stay in your body, and if it's not satisfied with the nourishment that you're giving it, it's going to start feeding on your ass. That's what bacteria does. That's what fungus does. That's what athlete's foot does. Athlete's foot, the reason why it itches is because it's eating away at your flesh. It's a fungus. It's literally eating your flesh. But nobody fucking pay attention to that. And you have athlete's foot fungus on everything. All vegetables create fungus. All vegetables create yeast, create all of that shit. And you're eating it raw. Good on you. I hope you get full off that shit. I hope it does you some justice. I hope you follow all your loose teeth, motherfucking toothless gurus, and they're drinking of their smoothies and eating all that bullshit that they're eating, calling it vegan and everything. I hope you guys live long and prosper off that shit. I hope so. Starve yourself, do all of that shit. More power to you. But until the day I die, I'm going to live happy, and I'm going to live satisfied, and I'm going to live healthy. Look, I'm going against all that bullshit that they're talking about. All of that bullshit. I'm eating the meat. I'm eating pork. I'm eating beef, chicken, all of that shit. I eat vegetables too. I eat fruits too. All that shit's getting cooked. Nothing's getting raw. Nothing raw. I don't consume anything raw. Not even juices. If the juice ain't pasteurized, I'm not drinking. I'll boil that shit myself. That's what we have to do in order to take back our health. We have to fucking fend for ourselves. We can't trust other people to do what we should be doing for ourselves. And we shouldn't be listening to these guys and supporting them when they're doing shit like this. It looks hopeless when we have so many people listening to people that are destroying them from the inside out with bullshit. Just look into this shit, man, for yourself, and you will find out they get rid of tons and tons of vegetables every day because they have a certain level of bacteria that they allow into the market. But some of these vegetables, like some of the lettuces, is so infested with E. coli and streptococcus that they got to get rid of it, that the shit is like visible to them when they fucking get ready to put it on the shelf. You can't wash the outside off. Why do you think they keep this stuff cold? Why do you think the supermarkets keep all their fruits in freezer sections? Ain't none of that shit outside so the sun can hit it. Once the sun hit them fruits and vegetables in these grocery stores, guess what happens? It starts to rot right in front of your eyes. You can watch the shit rot. You can watch it rot. They keep these motherfuckers in a controlled environment. Look at the lights when you go inside of your grocery stores. Most of the lights that's inside of these grocery stores, man, are specially made for these grocery stores to destroy the bacteria on the surface of the vegetables. Because the bacteria that's on the inside is starting to come out and become visible because it's not cold enough. I'm telling you, man, you guys pay attention to this shit. And see, just like insects, bacteria can go into a hibernated state when they're frozen. Some of the bacteria are just liquid. It looks like clear liquid, man. And as soon as this shit thaws out, it comes back to life like it never was frozen. That's why you got to kill this shit with fire. That's why you got to kill it with heat. And see, when you kill it with heat, it has no way of coming back. Ain't nothing being burnt gonna come back to its natural way it was before it was touched by that fire. But you can freeze that shit and it'll stay there in that dormant state like it's sleep or some shit. And as soon as it gets back to room temperature, oh, it's up and popping. It's on and popping. I'm telling you, man, eating these raw vegetables and shit like that is the main cause of all of this disease. Eating raw meat, main cause of all these diseases. I don't care what chemical you try to wash it with, the shit is immune to it. The shit is immune to it. And once this bacteria get into your body, then that's when the game is on. That's when you got to start to try to get rid of this shit. And the only way you can get rid of it is flushing it from the system. Making it weak or killing it and flushing it from the system. There's only 4 ways of detoxing the body. 4 ways. I've been saying this shit since I've been on YouTube. Respiration, perspiration, defecation, and urination. That's the only way you can get rid of this shit. That's the only way. Ain't no humming, no vibrations, no magnets. None of that shit's going to get rid of this shit inside of your body. So guess what? You shouldn't be trying to starve your body so the body can hold that shit in. You think starving an animal going to take away its ability to want to exist? A starving animal will go to great lengths to feed itself. It will even eat its own. It'll even eat its own kinfolk. So when you putting this bacteria in your body, you think that starving is going to get it out of your body? No, it's not. The only way to get it out is to flush it out. And not just with water. Because water is an oxidizer. You don't realize it takes more effort for your body to break down water than it does food. And this is the shit that we don't. Your food goes into your stomach, goes into your intestines and out your ass. What does water do when it gets into the stomach? It has to soak through the pores of your stomach and get into your bloodstream and go into one of your organs like the kidneys and be filtered out and then put into the bladder so you can urinate it out. Or you sweat it out of your pores. Or you breathe it out when you're breathing. Or you shit it out with some of the water that your urine or that your feces has in it. Water is a difficult thing to get out of the body. That's why when we make coffees and teas and sodas, these additives cause the water to be mixed in as if they were food. And I know they tell you sugar's bad for you. Sugar is an energy source. Sugar is an energy source. The body needs energy to keep moving. Just like salt is an electrical, like a conduit. To create electricity, you put salt in your body so you can be more energetic. Sugar in your body so you can have more energy. And then it just taught us this shit. Oh, man, sugar's bad for you. Salt's bad for you. Niggas need to eat nothing but raw vegetables. Need to drink nothing but smoothies. All your fucking teeth fall out. All your hair fall off. Start looking like some kind of alien and shit. Eyes sunken into your head. Breath stinking like a motherfucker. No, but you're eating healthy. You're eating raw vegetables. You're drinking smoothies. Your lumbido's all fucked up. Man, look. The whole idea or the whole thing with eating food is to neutralize or to help the body build back what is lost on a day-to-day basis. You eat meat because you're made of meat. Okay? You eat minerals because you're made of minerals. All right? If you want your liver to be healthy, guess what you might want to eat? Liver from an animal that was healthy. Kidneys? You might want to eat some more organ meats. You want your heart to be healthy? You might want to eat more heart organ meat. Man, I'm telling you, man, this shit can't be any easier to understand. Can't be easier to understand. They got us doing the total opposite of what we should be doing. Because we listening to these cocksuckers trying to make a couple dollars off of biblos and fucking all kind of fucking smoothie recipes and bullshit like that. Come on, man. You see what these dudes do? They make their money and forget about your ass. And that's the same thing that's going to happen over and over again until we start taking our own fucking health in our own fucking control and stop listening to this stupid shit. You shouldn't be coming on the YouTube anyway, getting any type of advice. This is like a forum where you should be exchanging information, not advice. If you don't know what's good for you, then you're in the wrong fucking place. We're all different. A spoonful of sugar is probably not going to make me feel a certain way versus you. But I'm telling you right now, sugar is not your fucking enemy. But it's been long enough. I'm going to go ahead and cut this one off. Because if I don't, I'm going to end up saying something I ain't supposed to say. Y'all take it easy. Salute to the real ones. Like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.